Hey everybody, Jason here. Happy Monday. Happy Bloody Monday, right? As far as how it started off. Yeah, I saw futures last night and then yeah, how everything was opening this morning. Very, very, very red. So if you happen to join me on the live stream, my thought for this week was going to be we were going to have at least one day, Monday or Tuesday, we were going to have a very down day and then a very stagnant day before we see any upside. There was really no one event that made everything so terrible. It wasn't, it's new concerns about COVID, China, bonds are super far up. Um, so all of this, just because that's what my thinking was. My my reaction was to put on some music and not look at the market for the first hour or so and let it do its thing, get whatever it is out of its system. That happened to looks like it was a pretty decent strategy as far as like where we're kind of bouncing back a little bit to where we were. I did grab my Tilray, the calls, or I sold the calls on those, sold 3 of those, and that's pretty much it. That's all I've done. Just waiting to see how things shake out. The more and more I see some of this craziness, the more and more I feel like there is a certain level of manipulation that goes on. I mean, you'll see it in comments, chats, and just like all across the board. Like somebody gets so frustrated, they're like, "Oh, I'm done with this. Like I'm done with this stock. I'm done with this strategy. I'm done with whatever." They're just like, whatever's happened within the price action, it's enough to make them quit. And when I see some of the moves that are just like, you know, they can become very frustrating. And to a certain degree, diamond hands do get rewarded on some of those. Although you cannot, there's not much you can do about whatever emotional state or whatever you're feeling about anything. If you see something drop, you see your account value drop, that's going to be frustrating. You could be angry. You could be like, what the hell? I should have known. I should have known better. I shouldn't have just traded this week. Yada, yada, whatever. But for the most part, I mean, things kind of do go back. Like they seek equilibrium long term. Besides the Tilray thing, because bonds. So I was looking at TLT here. When they were up quite a bit, I did grab 3 puts for a whole $36 a piece. These expire September 17th, so pretty cheap play. But since we didn't actually have any crazy news, that was one thing I grabbed. I figured those would probably settle down a little bit and not necessarily go back down to 135. That's kind of the low over the last year, but I feel like there'll be some movement. Maybe I'll just hold those overnight. I just wanted to grab them while it was on that very, very top side. Tesla, let me take a look at that real quick. Chilling. I think we were down like 620s or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, this is probably when I decided I'm just going to listen to some music for a little bit. Yeah, 622. Now we're recovering, 640. We had like the very, very good news, which maybe we would be down even more if we didn't get the full self-driving subscription news, which, in case you're not familiar, when you purchase a Tesla, you can either just, you can get the basic stuff that comes with it, which is kind of like a lane keep assist, and it'll keep you centered and it'll keep you driving behind the car in front of you. And then for the full self-driving package, and full self-driving is not out yet. So you have, I think they call it autopilot, enhanced autopilot, which basically can get you from an on-ramp of a freeway to an off-ramp of a freeway. It can change freeways, change lanes, do all kinds of pretty cool stuff. Basically drive itself for the most part on a freeway. And that's part of that full self-driving package. Right now I think it's $10,000, and and it's expected to keep going up as features get added and it gets improved. Right now, Tesla cannot recognize all that revenue. They can only recognize like some are like half of it because they haven't delivered the full self-driving yet. So it's kind of just sitting in a pile. And then if and when full self-driving does come out, then they could recognize all that revenue. So everybody who paid for that, like myself, I didn't pay $10,000. I think I paid $8,000, but on the Cybertruck I ordered, that was $10,000. So, so half of that money, even though I've paid it to Tesla, they cannot say they made that money yet, essentially. With a subscription service, it's a subscription. So 100% of that revenue is able to be recognized. It's going to be like $199 a month. Once in a while, somebody's going to try it out, maybe for a couple months. Doesn't really matter if 8%, if 0.5%, 0.1%, doesn't really even matter. If there's even 100 people that use it, it was just something that's a software enabled feature. It doesn't cost Tesla anything to do, but it's, 100% revenue. They're already working on everything else. It just doesn't matter. It's free revenue. So anyways, that is the positive news, which is part of why we thought we would see some pretty good upside for this week. Also coming into earnings, which is also should be a positive. But I think if we did not have that, we may be down another $20, $30. But who knows? Only speculation there. So, yeah. So we were down. What were we down for a little bit? We were down 12, 13,000, something like that. Now we're down 3. So it definitely is not. I mean, it hasn't been a great day, great week, or anything, but just pretty much holding on to the plays. We can see what we have going on. What do we have expiring? We have a lot expiring this week. So we have a lot of covered calls, and since everything's down, it didn't look juicy enough to sell any more of the covered calls. PSTH, I sold puts on those. That, if you're interested in that stock, look at it. Basically, it's a SPAC, but everything has kind of changed on that. So I'm not as excited to own the shares as I was. I also own 100 shares of those as well. Let's see, we have some calls. We have a snap put credit spread, SPY put credit spread, and we've bounced up a little bit, but nowhere near where we were at. And then I have, a few kind of random, almost iron condors and or condors or butterflies and things. So those, I just need time for them to become a little bit more positive. The width, as far as the where they'll be profitable, is actually pretty wide, but that'll narrow with time. So I may want to take some profits on some of them, probably sooner than later. And also, of course, depends on some price action, what we have going on. AT&T covered calls, because I don't care if I sell my AT or get my shares called away from me anymore, since they're going to lower the dividend. And then my Tilray calls, I did sell those for $22 a piece. I sold those 2 weeks out because the 1 week premium was only $4. Not really enough, but I sold the 17s. Our cost basis is at like 1650 some, I believe. No, 1675 maybe. So I sold the 17s. I grabbed $22, but we got to wait 2 more weeks for those guys to expire. So looking pretty good. Maybe we'll end up neutral today, and maybe even a little bit green. We have quite a few hours to go, but I'm actually glad I took like a little break this morning and didn't make any crazy moves or anything like that, because I mean, that stuff will get you if you're right off the opening, especially on a Monday. You see a huge reaction, you kind of want to react to whatever action's going on, and at that moment you're paying more premium to close positions, you're having to offer less. It's just kind of a bad time to make any major moves, unless there's some bit of news that you really want to play and you think you're you know, you'll be super to the upside on something or downside. But other than that, hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm going to end it here. Maybe we'll make another one if I make any moves today, but I saw, like, just Saturday, looking at this week, I saw Monday and Tuesday is probably down one day, even another day, and then into, I think it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before we see any kind of recovery or see what's really going on. Anyhow, love you guys. Let's make a lot of money.